my Dutch oven top stopped working. The seasoning didn't come out. Nothing is coming out and it's open. So none of this is going right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, you're probably wondering what the heck is going on. So let me tell you, today we are doing a cooking Q&A. No, I've never done this on my channel before. I know it's probably kind of weird and different. However, I mentioned recently in a vlog that I wanted to do a cooking video because I'm obsessed with cooking videos and mukbangs, and I had an overwhelming amount of people on Instagram as well as that video asking me to make a cooking video and give them some recipe ideas. But I decided to just do it since a lot of you seemed like you were interested, as well as doing a Q&A. So I'm gonna have Patrick here. Say hello.
Hello.
Patrick is joining me today because I watch a lot of Stephanie Sue, and she is a mukbanger on YouTube, and she always has her fiance. She calls him Steph Fiance. She always has him there, and she can talk to him and he can ask her questions and stuff. So I thought that I would have Patrick here so he could help me, and he can also ask me the questions that you guys want to know. I did put a post up on Instagram and ask for questions for this Q&A, so thank you to everyone who contributed. I'm going to get to as many of them as I can because I also have to cook and eat, so this is going to be pretty exciting. So before we get to the Q&A part, we're obviously have to tell you what we're going to be cooking, and then I'm going to show you guys basically the overall recipe. So I know this kind of looks like a lot. Don't be intimidated. It's actually a pretty easy recipe. Today we're going to be making a Korean hot pot. I'm sure there is a technical name which I will put on the screen, but that is just what I call it, and that's typically what a lot of mukbangers call it as well. Don't worry, I'm not turning into a mukbanger or anything like that, but I do love watching them, so that is what we're doing today. So a Korean hot pot is essentially a giant skillet, kind of like this one. This one isn't as big as they normally use, but you basically take a giant flat or shallow skillet and then you load it full of vegetables and broth and this gochujang sauce that I have here. It's basically like a red pepper paste. It's really popular in a lot of Korean dishes, so I have that. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. I'm probably going to pronounce like a lot of the stuff in this recipe wrong, but just bear with me. Now this is just my preferred recipe. The typical way that people make a hot pot usually includes some sort of a meat. Sometimes they'll use either like a beef or a pork, sometimes even a shrimp. But I don't eat animals, so I'm not going to be having any meat in my dish. We're just going to do a vegetable hot pot today. Another thing that I found really common with Korean hot pots, and correct me if I'm wrong, but usually it's about the presentation of how you layer all of the veggies in the hot pot itself. Usually they're really, really beautiful. Even after they cook down, there's lots of colors and things like that, and you can really add any veggies that you want into this. These are all the veggies that I chose today. I've got some bok choy, Napa cabbage, which is the best cabbage to use in this in my opinion. I also have some mushrooms here. These are not the typical mushrooms you would use in a hot pot, but my store doesn't sell the ones which are like the little mushroom sprouts. I wish I could have found them, but I have shiitake mushrooms, and these are actually really, really good in Korean cooking as well. And then of course we have green onions, which is a must for this recipe. And then I also have a purple onion, and I know, yes, that's a lot of onion. The onions cook down and they lose a lot of their oniony flavor, and they kind of absorb a lot of the flavors of like the garlic, the vegetable broth, and then the gochujang sauce. Probably pronouncing that wrong. It looks like gochujang. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it's really good, trust me. So that's what we're going to be making today. First thing I have to do is let one of my vegetable broth cubes dissolve into my glass of water here, because I didn't buy any actual vegetable broth at the store, but I do have these vegan vegetable cubes, so I'm just going to let that dissolve in there while we chop the veggies. So I have made this dish once before, but again, I'm not a professional at it, but I should have made it a little more spicy last time. I didn't add enough spice to it. I was playing it really safe, but this, along with, actually I did buy this seasoning. This is basically this like in a powder, so I'm gonna add this in there too this time. I don't really like spicy. Do you like spicy?
I like medium spicy. I don't like crazy spicy, yeah.
Yeah, I go pretty mild with my cooking, but it's gonna be really good. So not only am I gonna be showing you guys how to make this, but I'm also kind of showing Patrick how to make it, I guess. Not that you really care to, because if I'm here, I'll just cook it, but I'm gonna show you anyway while I'm doing it. I'll do all the cuttings. Since,
okay.
You know.
Just don't cut me.
I won't. So the first thing you need to cut up is your Napa cabbage. Like I said, this is the best cabbage to use. The way that I cut up Napa cabbage, because I don't really like this part of it, I typically just cut it right down the middle, and then I save this part for like another dish, and then I only use this part in the actual hot pot itself. So I do have to rinse this off, so I'm going to set this aside, literally just like that. And then we're going to cut up the onion. This onion is what I will put in there first on the bottom with the garlic and some oil. Usually I just chop this up and put it on the bottom. I like the onion to kind of soak up all of the flavors of like the marinade that's in there. So I'm gonna put this in there first, let it soak up the marinade, and then add all the veggies on top of there, and then that's how they steam, and that's how you make the hot pot. So I have my little portable stove eye here. I've never used it before, so I can't say that it's amazing, but I did buy it, especially for these type of videos. So we're gonna be cooking right here in front of you guys. It's pretty exciting. I really hope that this works. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some oil into the pot, just a little bit. You don't have to put too much because you are gonna dump broth all over your vegetables. And then we are going to go on and put our onion, which I've already diced into like long strips, and you can leave them long because they're gonna cook down. And then we are going to add our garlic. Now, I don't remember what this recipe calls for in garlic, but I would say at least 2 cloves. I think the original recipe called for 4. This is already pre-minced, so I'm just gonna do like 2 massive glops of garlic. Glops, I don't even, I'm not really measuring. A lot of garlic. All right, so we're gonna go on and we're gonna put in the cabbage first. Now, it is all about display and presentation. That's really big with these types of dishes. I'm not a professional, so like mine's not gonna look amazing. But if you can layer it up pretty nicely, it looks really good. And I like a lot of cabbage in mine because it is delicious. This is also the same cabbage that's used in kimchi. So if you're a big fan of kimchi like I am, this is the same kind of cabbage. Then we're gonna add in our bok choy. And don't be scared to like overflow your pot. It's okay, it does cook down a lot, like you'll see. It cooks down a whole bunch. This presentation looks like trash. I'm literally not a professional at doing this, but so again, I don't have a measurement, so I'm just gonna use 1 giant dollop of this. And I'm putting it into the water with the vegetable tablet that I disintegrated, basically, and then you just kind of stir it up if you can. A lot of times they'll just take this and like dollop it in the middle, but it doesn't spread evenly, so I put it in here first, like rinse it around, and then I kind of spread it all over there, and then I let it cook down. And then we're also gonna add some of this because I bought this and I want to try it. I don't know if it'll actually be good, but so my Dutch oven top stopped working, so I totally give props to actual mukbangers who like do this for a living. This is insane. So I have to go cook this on my stove because why wouldn't something go wrong with my first cooking video ever? That's fine, we're gonna get through. So basically I'm just gonna add some of this seasoning on top of here. Okay, I'm not. The seasoning didn't come out. Nothing is coming out and it's open. It's literally a hard clump. No wonder it was on clearance. Okay, so none of this is going right. So I'm gonna go cook this in the kitchen on my actual stove since this piece of junk didn't work, and then I will be back. Okay, so then you take the mixture and dump it over it really, really good. Just like that, and let it steam all the way down. You don't stir it or anything, you just steam it on medium and then let it cook down. All right, so this is finally done. It's really, really hot. It's probably gonna fog up the camera.
It smells good.
It smells amazing.
Yeah.
Traditionally, this is eaten at like literally left in the pot in the middle of the table. So like if you were to order this at like a Korean restaurant, from what I understand, they leave it in the pot and then you just have your bowl and your chopsticks and you can just eat out of it kind of like that. It is kind of a soup because it does have that broth that's in there, but typically it's meant to be like a communal dish from what I understand. So that's how we're gonna be eating it today. I'm gonna dig in while you're doing that.
Okay, so first question is from Sea Animals.
CI Animals.
Animals, sorry.
That is Kieran, and he actually lives in Ireland.
Nice. And he's also the first on here, so.
He's also the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one town/city in the world you'd love to visit?
I would love to visit Japan and also Ireland. What about you? Where would you like to visit?
Japan would be cool. Maybe Beijing.
That would be cool.
Something like that.
First bite. See how it's good. Do you think it'll be spicier than last time?
I have no idea.
Hope it's not. I added a bunch of that seasoning. I was so frustrated because it wasn't coming out. I just like took a knife, stabbed it, and dumped it in there. So hope it's not too spicy. Yeah, it's really spicy. Oh, but that cabbage is so good though.
Good.
It's spicy, but it's not like unbearable or anything.
What type of pet was your first ever pet you got?
The first pet I ever got was a dog named Dox, which he was actually technically my parents' pet before I was born, but he was like the family dog. The first pet I ever owned, like on my own, that my parents didn't take care of, was a goldfish. But I did keep him alone because I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a goldfish.
This is from Tazin Luke. Sorry if I say that wrong. Who is your favorite pet YouTuber?
Honestly, I don't think I have one favorite pet tuber at the moment. I just watch so many. I don't think I could possibly choose just one. But I am obsessed with Marlene McCohen right now just because I'm watching a lot of bird videos. So I do love Marlene McCohen. So I would say her right now.
What pet do you want to have but can't have?
Good question. These mushrooms are so good. Can you guys see this? Delicious. I would say if there's a pet that I really wish I could have that I can't have, a lot of tortoises. I just don't have the room for a lot of really big tortoises, but I wish I could have more. Is it good?
Yeah, this is about the perfect spiciness.
Yeah, it is, right?
It's not too spicy and it's not mild.
It's so good.
Faye the Lizard said, who is your idol?
I don't have an idol. I don't know. I don't idolize anyone. I know that I look up to you personally, like in life, but I don't have like an idol that's like a idol online or anything like that. I don't have anything like that.
Jenny Coley says, what gives you motivation to eat healthy? I've been vegetarian all my life and I slowly want to start incorporating some vegan meals, but I've been having a hard time finding things that look appetizing. Any tips? This,
yeah, try and make this. Do a Korean hot pot. I would say as far as eating healthy goes, just eat what you like. Don't restrict. That's the biggest thing. Like, that's one thing that I messed up on whenever I very first went vegan, was I was restricting my calories because I didn't know what meals I needed to eat. It wasn't for the sake of weight loss. It was just, I went vegan cold turkey with no experience and no recipes like in my mind naturally. So it's really hard to create meals out of nothing. So my advice to you would be, pick a meal that you already love. Like, say you used to eat spaghetti and meatballs, like pick a meal that you love and then just take the animal products out of it. So like if you love spaghetti and meatballs, get rid of the meatballs, use vegan butter, and then go from there. You know what I mean? So just take a meal that you love and then make alterations. Don't try to create meals out of thin air, because that's where you're gonna go wrong.
why did you start your channel? From Lily Dressage 10.
I started my channel 2 years ago, this pet channel, but I actually have an old channel that I used to do probably about 10 years ago. That was my first YouTube channel. It was just called Little Lottie 24, I think, and it was actually a makeup channel. So I started out doing makeup videos. I realized how expensive that hobby is and got out really quickly. And then I didn't really make many videos for a lot of years, and then 2 years ago I got Moo and I decided I wanted to start making pet videos, and that's pretty much how it came about. Is it good?
It is good. I have to get more.
The seasonings are really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely stronger this time. The mistake that I made the last time that I made this, which I've only made it once before, so like not a professional, but I was afraid to add too much of the seasoning and the red pepper paste. I was really afraid. Also, this recipe calls for fish sauce, but you can just use like some vinegar if you want to just give it like a little sweet and sourness to it. And then of course soy sauce, which is one thing I forgot to mention. I just use liquid aminos in place of soy sauce. It's basically the same thing.
Okay. What is your favorite reality TV show?
Is The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I'm obsessed with that show. It's so phony. It's like, I know it's really crappy and like superficial, and you know that those girls just want to get their flat tummy tea sponsorships, you know, like that's a big reason why they go on the show, but I'm still completely obsessed with it.
Would you ever get chickens?
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
You don't really want chickens, though, do you?
I don't mind chickens. We've had chickens. I grew up in the country, so we had chickens and different animals and stuff. It's just, you have to have a good amount of land, honestly.
I'd still get them.
Yeah, you probably would. There's one in here, I don't want to go all the way back, but it said, what would be your favorite type of tortoise?
Is a Mediterranean tortoise, and then the subspecies would be Herman's tortoise. Eastern or Western, I used to love Westerns more, which is the like sibling subspecies to Blue. Blue's an Eastern. But now that I have blue, I'm partial to Easterns.
So what advice do you have for someone considering going vegan? I've been considering it lately, mostly because I'm lactose intolerant, have broken out in rashes from eggs, and tend to feel sick eating a lot of red meats. I also don't eat fish because as a kid, I had a fish tank next to the table and didn't feel right eating fish in front of them. Poor fish.
That's logical.
Right? And just haven't eaten it since. I think a vegan diet, or at least limiting my meat and dairy intake, might help me feel better and healthier. So, I can kind of answer this a little bit too. So obviously I grew up eating meat, not being vegan or vegetarian or even thinking about it really. With her, you know, going vegan and kind of making that part of our everyday life. Excuse me, bless you. Did you get some pepper?
Sorry.
Yeah. So with eating a lot of red meat, personally for me, you know, I didn't even think about it, but I started having some, you know, problems, some acid issues, things that were kind of, it was making me feel bad every night. I kind of had the same issues you had.
With your dairy.
Yeah.
The dairy was giving you acid reflux really bad.
So, after Lori kind of got me into eating healthier, I was limiting my meats and limiting my dairy. Pretty much reversed every issue I was having at that time. And so for me to continue going and maybe even pushing a little bit further, it's just the fact that I felt better, you know.
And you've been doing really good being a vegetarian.
Yeah, vegetarian,
without
vegan
dairy.
lifestyle.
So but you don't even drink milk. So
Yeah, I don't drink milk. I still eat a little bit of cheese, but you know, I don't. I try to limit as best I can. I'm doing the best I can.
Thank you for helping me.
Yep, not a problem. Thanks for feeding me.
Alright guys, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for all of the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know there were some technical difficulties. This definitely was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, I think you can admit, because the Dutch top thing, or whatever it's called, the induction oven. The induction oven I had didn't work with the pot that I had. Apparently you have to have like a special pot. I gotta work all that out. I have no idea what happened, so there was a lot of complications there, but the food was really good once it got cooked, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Patrick for helping me.
No, not a problem. Thank
you. If you guys would like to see more videos of me with Patrick, or more cooking videos, or more Q&As, or any variation of this video, let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Be kind. Bye.